I funded the zine on Kickstarter, and assembling a zine can have a lot of stumbling blocks. I've stumbled through a bunch of stuff, so let's hop right into how I get through this. I make one of these little sample booklets so that I know what the layout is going to look like, which pages go next to which pages. So I do the layout, and I put them in Photoshop spreads, and then I send those spreads off to the printer so that she can print things as I intended. If you don't have one of these little booklets or some tool like this to keep track of everything, it can be super easy to get lost super fast. And that means sending stuff off to print and getting it back and having it be all over the place, the wrong pages next to each other. And here you can see when this comes apart, this is like front and back, pages like 1 and 22. And it just gives like this little crib note on the side that I have that keep everything organized and my spreads and print orders all in the right order and all in the right layout. After we get everything put together and stapled, it has to be trimmed. So inside the layout, you have to leave room to trim. Otherwise, you get page creep. Middle pages stick out more than outside pages. And because I did full bleed, there was a lot of trimming of the cover, top and the bottom, which was a huge pain. But once you get this together in layout, it kind of makes sense. So I've got like a 1/2 inch gap on all sides. You can see I had to trim the top here, leaving less of a gap. But thankfully, because I left room for that, it made it possible to finish the project without it looking completely goofy. Or even worse, going back and reprinting because I cut off text. These upper level backers get a remark reward on the back where I spend some time and I draw something. This is gloss cardstock cover paper, and I don't think I'll use it again. It draws kind of funky. The ink sort of slips around on it, and when you try to fold these covers, it almost cracks if you don't do it very carefully, and even the most careful creasing, it cracks anyway. So kind of a lesson learned. Just like any printing project that I take to the print house, I have extras made because I know there's going to be some experimentation, some, trial and error. When I used the matte paper on the previous zine, I was able to just fold these in half, and it was a no-brainer. So I try it here, and right away, as soon as I press down on the centerfold, I know I'm going to have a problem, so I've got to come up with another solution. It just looks super chunky and it's cracked, especially after I try to bind it down with something. So the real solution here is to go to scoring and find a way to score that center line and then fold to get the nice straight and not as cracked outside. So I came up with a solution to take a metal ruler, lay it down the center, and then score it either with the backside of a butter knife. Here I'm using a screen tool for a window, and that was okay. But what really worked great was just to take a dowel that I had hanging around the shop, sharpen the tip and dull it a little bit, and then use that to score the center. And after that, it's easy enough to fold it down the middle, and it looks pretty good. The fold is nice and straight. That center has been stretched a little so it doesn't tear and make a huge mess. And it looks super clean. Full bleed on this zine was probably a mistake. On the old zine, you can see I have a 1/4 inch border all around the outside on the cover, and I didn't have to trim. The print shop sent me back my covers for this one on 9x12, and I had to trim the covers, and it just wasn't lining up right all around. So for the second one, I'm going to go back to doing this inset cover and print on 8.5x11. Because I had my little booklet and got my duplex printing right and the pages all in the right place, the interiors are super easy. This is just on text paper. They sent them back to me collated, so all I got to do is pick them up in the right stack, fold them in the middle, do a little burnishing, and slap it inside the cover. You can see I'm still going to have to trim the pages extra because of that full bleed cover, which I won't be doing next time. But that's okay. I have a guillotine paper cutter, and it makes pretty quick work of this. And because I left the border around the layout, it still all makes sense in the end. You'll notice that the top is a narrower gap than everything else, but that's because of all of the extra trimming. but it still looks good. Before the final trim, I need to do the binding. And I got this saddle stitcher off of Amazon. It was $100 or so, and it works pretty good. The staples are quite beefy, beefier than I need them to be. I might be able to downgrade those. The only complaint I have is with this gloss cover is that it sort of makes a flat spot wherever you staple, and there's no avoiding that. It does the job, and it does everything that I want it to do, and it's super easy to put these together. So staple and then cut, and we're off to the races. For far less money, you could get a long arm stapler, which is just a stapler with an extended middle, and you can staple them flat and then fold your zines up, and that also works pretty good. I just wanted this fancy tool. Less is more when it comes to zines. The gloss cover is really too much. I think going back to the black and white and the matte makes it feel more like a good old punk zine, art zine, and I think that's the way I'm going to stick going forward after Threshold 2. But that's really the whole process. I'll throw some links down below to the tools and other stuff that might be helpful. Thanks for watching.